We've got flags and banners, and if you mind your manners, we might even get to standards and what they represent. So just take my voice's hand and we'll both try to understand how this vexilla logic podcast could be flagged for content. Flagged for content.
What's up, Vexheads, and welcome to episode 57 of Flagged for Content. It's the only podcast that Samuel Alito's wife listens to. And since you are listening, Martha Ann, please don't forget to bring your dip to the after-church social again on Sunday, because I swear it's like the third. Anyway, it is also a Flags for Good podcast, which I mention every week because, one, they're a fantastic sponsor, and two, they're a fantastic flag maker. Head over to flagsforgood.com. They have like new collections every day. We plug them on the show unintentionally near the end of this one, but I always do it up top too. You know that. And when you do go there, you can use code FLAGGED4CONTENT, like the number 4, and get yourself a sweet 10% off and help the show as well. Let's see, what other housekeeping do I have? Yes, I wanted to shout out our new patrons. And those are a couple names that you'll recognize because they've been on a few of the last episodes. That is going to be Evan Dunker, seen here soon, and a little guy named Dave Martucci, seen on the main 1901 flag or the main flag episode. Shout out to both of you. Thanks so much for joining. I meant to do this shout out last time, but I'm getting to it now. And there will be a list of all the patrons at the end of the episode on the video version. Let's see, what else did I... Oh, yes, if you would like to advertise on the show, I have had a couple people reach out. I've done a couple ads for StubForge, not to advertise them again, and other things. And if you would like to be a part of that, go ahead and reach out to me on the Linktree or send me an email at podcast@flagsforgood.com and we can work something out. It's pretty cheap. Trust me. It's pretty cheap. I think that is basically it for the housekeeping stuff, other than, as always, join the Patreon and you'll get a lot more. Speaking of a lot more, Evan and I talked for a long time on this one. And I think only like half of it is the episode. The other entire half is on the Patreon. So do check that out. That's available at the $5 level. But aside from any of that, I just had a really good time chatting with Evan Dunker this week about flags. We had a kind of like moving target as a topic. At the end of the day, Evan said kind of the same thing that I was thinking, which was, I just want to talk about flags with somebody that's as passionate about them as I am. And, you know, the kind of categories, etc., will lay themselves out along the way. And they did just that. We had a really great discussion, obviously, on the over and underrated, the favorites, etc. Then we got into a lot of like sports flag lore and just sports flag usage. Evan is super knowledgeable. He's super handy. He makes a lot of flag poles, like stands, like, you know, for desk flags, flag holders. His whole display behind him, if you watch the video version. Just a fascinating guy to talk to. I really enjoyed this episode. I'm sorry that it took me so long to put out another one. And yeah, glad to be back and enjoy this chat with Evan Dunker. Folks, we have yet another amazing guest for you this week. You relate to him from wanting to buy every flag he sees. You know his Instagram handle because he's rarely wrong on fresh flags, our game. And you know him as a big-time hater of all seal-on-bedsheet flags. It's Evan Dunker!
Hey.
What's up, Evan?
Not much right now, just recovering from being ill. So, yay.
Fair enough. Well, hopefully you're feeling good enough to do this, I imagine.
Honestly, that was the one concern. Yesterday was like, I may have to let him know that I'm not going to be able to do this.
Yeah.
I had to call my work and say, hey, I can't come in. I think I'm still contagious.
Right, right. And
So,
because this is more important than work, obviously.
oh yeah, totally.
Yeah, so I gather from your shirt you are coming to us from Lincoln, Nebraska. Is that correct?
Born and raised.
Dude,
Proud,
I love
proud,
that
proud
shirt too.
Lincolnite. Yeah,
You what?
it's proud Lincolnite. I'm the only
Yeah.
one on this half of my family that was born in Lincoln.
Okay, right on. How
Yeah.
do you like the Lincoln flag? I know I talked about it with Luke Schroer a few weeks ago. Um, I largely like it, but I have like a couple notes. What about you?
Honestly, the with what we had before, it's a huge improvement.
Sure. Yeah.
But at the same time, like I kind of wish they picked mine because I put one in as well.
Oh, I don't know if I do think I knew that, but I don't know what the design looked like.
It was plain blue background with just the white Capitol building in the center.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So it's kind of what we had beforehand, but
Just like a simplified.
it was a simplified and it was my own version of it. And I didn't even get past the first round.
Well, a lot of the good ones don't.
Yeah.
See Minnesota.
Yeah, I'll let you have that.
What's that?
I'll let you have that. They kind of dropped the ball on that.
Yeah, I think they had a lot of better options that they
Yeah.
didn't
And I
even
get a
consider.
flight
But
in a couple days. Yay.
yeah. Are you going to Nava 58, by the way, or?
I haven't fully decided. I want to. I really do, but I don't know if I'm gonna be able to swing it.
Gotcha. I was gonna
Yeah.
say, if you do, I'll be there. I'm on the planning committee and all that fun stuff, working tech and
Well, in
whatever
that
else.
case, I may
But
have to make an exception.
yeah.
Do the 7-hour trip up there.
Oh yeah. I never considered driving there because for me it's not feasible. But like,
Yeah,
yeah, that
it's
makes sense. You're kind of in the middle there of like, is it worth driving? Is it worth flying?
it's
But
like I
anyway,
could fly and be in a
Boeing's.
disease-ridden pressure cabin that could possibly fall from the sky at any point. Or
Yeah,
I could
just
just
don't.
take my car up across I-80 over to the worst city in the world. I hate to say it, Des Moines. Sorry, but I'm from Nebraska.
Shots fired.
I hate you. I hate Iowa as the University of Iowa and Iowa State. We're huge rivals. Go Big Red. And is up 35 to another one. Stupid Golden Gophers. Oh yeah, I don't care.
Yeah, Hawkeyes, Golden Gophers, you're on notice.
Mhm.
Yeah, right
We'll
on,
get
man.
you we'll get you in the football season.
Yeah, I mean, Nebraska
Crayola has
used to
us
be.
this year.
You guys were a football powerhouse for a few years there.
Not a few years.
Yeah.
80s, 90s.
That's true.
And we're starting to come back, hopefully. Rule is doing pretty well.
Yeah, fair enough. All right. Well, we will get into the main section of the show here. Just to let the listeners know what's on the flagpole today. We've got our usual under and overrated flags. Evan's going to tell us the flag that got him into flags. And then from there, we've got a few various topics we might touch on. We've got sports flags. Evan's a huge Chiefs and Royals fan, so there's some things in there. We may talk collecting flags, as in 3x5s, not desk flags. And we have a couple notes on the Chicago flag. But before we get to any of that, Evan, I always like to ask my guest, what is the flag that got you into flags in the first place?
And that's the interesting part is, so obviously I'm in Nebraska. We're a huge rail state. We have Burlington Northern and Union Pacific.
Mm-hmm.
And it was actually the Union Pacific flag that got me in.
Okay, interesting, because I don't normally hear, flags for non-governmental things, I guess, like non-states, non-countries, etc. So what about the Union Pacific flag specifically spoke to you?
Honestly, it was just a complete spur of the moment thing. I don't even remember how old I was. And I was huge into railroad, that type of stuff at that point. And we were at the local So like I'm trying to figure out how I want to tell the story with this. That we were at
Fair, yeah.
like the local like meeting for all feral enquinologists, which like trade nuts. And there was somebody there that was selling a used UP flag, I believe from North Platte. It still smelled like coal. And
Whoa, that is...
yeah, it had the black on one of the corners. It was all frayed and everything. It was $10.
Is it okay, so like I'm looking up the Union Pacific flag. Is it the one with the yellow field and then the Union Pacific like kind of like badge on it?
Yeah. I think I want to say I have it somewhere.
I mean, I hope so.
Yeah. It's the one that got me. I know I have. I try to remember, and we'll get into this later as well with collecting flags. But the way I do is I have paper boxes that I've custom made.
Right.
Dividers in, so I have different columns and everything. I want to say it's in box 9, and yes, that's how many I have. Yeah,
box 9. Okay, yeah. I imagine a lot of our listeners can relate to that.
Yeah, sadly.
I don't have mine in boxes, but I do have them on like hooks downstairs. And at one point they were organized, and now I've gotten new ones, and I've forgotten to kind of update my spreadsheet. And well, it's work in progress. But okay, so like the Union Pacific flag, it's a, like I said, I've never had anyone come on and say that it was like a company specific, in quotes, kind of flag. What about that one specifically, like, not just caught your eye, but like got you into the whole concept of like vexillology and stuff?
Honestly, it took like 2 or 3 years, and then I finally was like able to go onto the computer a whole bunch, and I just started researching. I was like, oh, we have a flag here in Nebraska. Well, does every state have one? Yeah, they do. Well, obviously the US one does every country have one? And what other countries are there? And it just started growing from there.
Yeah, that like usual rabbit hole kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And then it started going into, well, I wonder what other types of flags are there. Oh, there's these types of flags and these types of flags. And wow, that one looks really cool. What does that represent? Oh, okay. And then and now with the Pride movement, LGBTQ, and all those flags, and there's so many of them, and they're like, I want all of them, but I don't have the space or the money.
Yeah, I again, another thing a lot of us can relate to, for sure.
Oh yeah, I know a lot of people are going, oh, I feel you there.
Yeah, oh no, definitely. Yeah, that is so you knew the Union Pacific flag before you knew the Nebraska flag? Is that what I'm understanding?
Pretty much, yeah. It's one of those, like, my grandma worked for the city of Lincoln for quite a while. So every now and then I'd go down to her office and I'd see the Nebraska flag, and I'd see the Lancaster County flag, which
nothing to write home about.
If you want to look it up, you can. Just have a bucket nearby because it's ugly. It's my most hated flag.
Lancaster County, Nebraska flag.
Yeah. And yes, it's that shade of green.
Oh, it sure is.
Yeah, it's a neon green.
Yeah, that one hurts my eyes.
Yeah. And the huge thing is, I actually got in contact with the county, and I have a one-time copyright exclusion that I can make it for my own personal use.
Oh, look at you. That's not nothing.
At some point, that may be on my Instagram. And I will hope that it gets flagged for content.
Hey!
Yeah. I hope it gets flagged. It's like,
that's the name of the show.
It's like, yeah, it is. And that's why we need to redesign it.
I love one of my, if not my favorite TV show, Arrested Development. They, at one point they say, like, yeah, your average, like, American male's in a stage of arrested development. And the narrator comes on and says, hey, that's the name of the show. So anytime any show does that, I'm always a fan. Anyway, that was a weird aside. But
That's
yeah,
normal for me.
it is interesting because like, so as like a perspective kind of shift, growing up in Tennessee with and I'll just say like with a good flag, it's everywhere here. And I've said this on the show before. But like when we did the Pledge of Allegiance, like all that stuff in school, we used to sing Rocky Top in school. Like that's how Tennessee is.
Oh,
But like, yeah, you couldn't have escaped it. Like as a young child, you knew what the Tennessee state flag was. So it's always like interesting to me to hear folks who either just like didn't know it or didn't connect with it or whatever the case may be. Just because my experience is so much the opposite of that. Like we have the TriStar on everything. But yeah, I mean, like the TriStar is easy to replicate, which is one of the, good flag, bad flag things.
yeah.
Whereas the Nebraska seal, not so easy to represent or replicate. For viewers, you can see it behind me here. And this is actually both of these are flags that Evan was kind enough to send me during my recovery from my hip replacement, basically.
Yeah.
So I need to do a better unboxing video of those where I can actually like walk and stuff. But in any case, so all right, so the Union Pacific flag, that is a very interesting got you into flags flag. Let's move on into under and overrated, and I'll let you take your pick as far as which one you want to go first with.
Do I want to be nice or not?
That is the, well, I'll say this. Do you want to end on a high note or end on a low note?
I think I'm going to make a lot of enemies no matter which one I do first.
Yeah, we don't have that many visitors or listeners in either of these places.
That's the only good part. The only downside is one of them is just got conquered by another state.
Right.
So I think I'll give them some props first. That's my underrated flag. It's the flag of the Nagorno-Karabakh Republic, or Artsakh.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know this one well, but for the listeners who may not, can you go ahead and describe it to us, like visually?
It pretty much, if you know the flag of Armenia, which is a horizontal tricolor of red, blue, and orange. It pretty much is that, but then on the fly side is a white arrow pointed towards the hoist.
Yeah,
that's
kind of like in squares almost.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Minecraft version.
Yeah.
That's the way I always describe it to people.
Yeah. And so to you, what makes that one underrated?
It's one that I don't see much, mostly because it's one of those was one of those maybe nations.
Yeah.
It's just one of those. It's one that I actually looked up the symbolism behind it, and I just instantly loved it. It was the meaning for the white arrow is that they wanted to be integrated into Armenia.
Right.
So it's just that instantly just was like, okay, that is really cool flag design. I love it. And like I said, you just don't see it often. And it's a really well-designed flag.
No, yeah, I think it is definitely unique in flags in that it directly relates to, like you said, it is the Armenian flag minus, a few like white little, I think there are like 5 of them, like 5 white kind of squares that separate the fly side, like you said, from, the rest of it, not just the hoist, but like the rest of it. And it's so interesting as far as flags go, because I can't think of another one that does that kind of like takes its quote unquote like mother flag or whatever you want to call it. It's the flag that it draws on and carves out a little bit of it to say like, hey, we are technically separate from that entity, but obviously based on everything here in the flag, we want to rejoin that, or we want to be part of that.
Yeah.
And I think it's unique among flags in that way. And I think it's a very interesting way to do it. And to Ted K's point, a couple episodes ago, flags signaling at a distance is not, that's, in his opinion, that is the main thing that they're meant to do. And I think this one signals very well. Like it tells you exactly what it is. You may not know the name Nagorno-Karabakh, you may not know the name Artsakh, whatever, but if you know the Armenian flag, you can guess, you can make a link to what that one is. And yeah, I was pretty happy you picked that one, to be honest, and rant over.
Yeah, it was one of those that was just like, there's so many of them that I think are underrated, just me personally, but it's just like, you know what, I want to give a little bit of props to a more, I want to give props to a nation that, or former nation, whatever, however the hell you say it.
Yeah.
To one that's like, you don't see much. And it's one that I have in my personal collection as well.
Right.
So,
and yeah, I don't have it in my personal collection, but I do very much want to. And I think like now is probably the time to get it if you're gonna get it.
Amazon. That's the best place.
Yeah, exactly. Otherwise, it's gonna be categorized under historic flags soon enough. So but yeah, I think as a flag, it accomplishes everything that flags are supposed to do in a pretty concise and compelling way. Yeah, definitely big fan. I think it's even on this, not that like viewers can really see the details on this poster, but this poster that I have behind me is of like minority flags, like minority regions and peoples and stuff like that. And the Artsakh one is somewhere on there. But yeah, I need to get a 5x3 of it, which we'll talk about later too. But all right, anything else on Artsakh, or should we go on to your overrated?
I think we could just go right into the overrated.
All right, let's do it. And yeah, as you said, you may not make friends on this one, but
I'm
may have a
definitely
few kindred spirits.
I'm going to make some enemies, but I know there's some that are just like it.
But I think there's going to be a lot of people that are like, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the thing is, I just had change of heart with this one like 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Oh, yeah?
It's very recent that I thought this one was very overrated, and that's the flag of Nepal.
Yes. We've gone over it a couple times on the show, but again, visually explain it, which probably ties into the overrating.
Oh boy, let's see if I could even explain this one to listeners.
Yeah, right?
I think just by saying Nepal, most of them will know which one it is. But
anyone who's listening to this show probably knows it.
Yeah, but it is it's pretty much 2 triangles stacked on top of each other with a red field, a blue border around it, and on the top triangle is a sun-like thing, and on the bottom is a moon.
Yep. That's that's pretty much it. So what is it about it that you think is overrated?
It's just the fact that like it's the complete opposite of Artsakh. It's everywhere. And like whenever you ask somebody, what's your favorite national flag? Oh, it's Nepal. It's like, come on.
Yeah.
There's roughly 190 something more nations you could go with, and you went with the same one as everybody else. I hate to say it because I don't mind it. I like how unique it is. But I mean, come on, you could give like South Africa some love with doing all those colors and making it look so beautiful. You could give South Sudan some love with it being the new nation. It's just that everybody picks it as their favorite, and it kind of is annoying.
Have people picked it as their favorite on this show? I honestly don't remember. I'm not. I shouldn't ask.
I wouldn't be surprised.
You. Like, I should know that, but I cannot. I don't think. I will say this. I don't think it's ever come up as underrated, and I don't think it's ever come up as a flag that got you into flags. It may have come up as a favorite, but even then, I kind of don't think so, because I think like a lot of us in this community kind of feel at least sort of similarly to you, where it's like, yeah, this one gets a lot of shine for being different and people who don't know a lot about flags, which is fine. are attracted to it because it's different from every flag they've seen. But yeah, I agree with the overrated part for sure. We had it actually as a bar trivia question not too long ago. They ask, I don't know why. I think it's because I constantly go, but they keep asking vexillology questions to the point where like you even said vexillology. And I yelled at my fiance. Well, not yelled. I like whispered to my fiance because he said something about vexillology and she was like, "Oh, the study of flags." And I was like, that might be the question. Like, chill. But the question ended up being, what are the only two non-rectangular, I forget exactly how it was worded, but non-rectangular flags, national flags. And of course it was Switzerland and Nepal. I forget, he may have worded it slightly differently that made more sense because I don't know, squares or rectangles or whatever. But
And see, even that technically is wrong because of the Vatican City. They're also
yeah, that's true. Vatican City's a 1-to-1, isn't it?
Yeah, they're 1-to-1. It's them, Switzerland. They're the only two 1-to-1s.
Yeah.
And another good one, if you ever go back and you want to put in a question, you could do which flag as the only one that has the ratio of the golden ratio.
Togo.
Mm-hmm.
Know that one.
That's one that's like, I want to get in the correct ratio, but I haven't been able to find it because it's just one of those, it's like, it'd be more expensive to make that way.
Yeah, no.
No, let's make it the cheap way.
Exactly, yeah. No, yeah, I wasn't there for that round. Otherwise, I probably would have brought up Vatican City. But I was there last week when he asked another Vex question, and it was confusingly enough, it was, what are the two flags, like country flags, that do not have red, white, or blue on them? And I was racking my brain. I was like, well, Jamaica, but what's the other one? And then I even I turned around and asked him, I was like, there are two? And he was like, yeah, according to this. And then he looked it up. And then after the question after that, he was like, hey, so just an amendment to that first question. The other one stopped being not red, white, and blue after 2017 or whatever. And it was, do you know it?
Mauritania.
Yeah, Mauritania. And which I've got somewhere around here.
It's right. It's like directly above the Nebraska flag.
Oh, yeah. Right there. Yeah, because they added the red borders. And his info, I guess, was old or whatever.
Yeah.
But I was racking my brain. I was literally I missed the next three. Well, I missed paying attention to the next three questions. My fiance got them right. But I was like, sorry. I'm thinking about flags. There's got to be another one.
Yeah. That was,
and sure enough.
Yeah. There was a trivia night for my cousin who's in dance for high school. They did a trivia night thing. And there was one of them that was history, geography, that type. And there was one I can't remember what the flag question was. And they asked it, and everybody at my table knew that I was a vexologist. And they instantly looked at me and was like, what is it? And I was just like Jesus to them.
Yeah. I know the feeling.
Oh, it's this. And I'm like, really? Do you want to get it right?
Do you want to second guess me?
Yeah, I'm the one that has all these flags. You're not. Listen to me this once.
You literally turned to me for the answer, so I'm giving it to you.
There's another one in that same round that was what was those? What's the world's largest desert?
Gobi?
Antarctica.
Kalahari? Sahara?
Antarctica.
Yeah. Right.
And everybody at my table, it's the Sahara. It's Antarctica.
Yep.
And we were one of the only, I think we were one of 2 tables that got it right.
Yeah, that's one of those
you don't think about. Well, it's obviously it's not a desert because it's snow. That's not the definition of the desert.
Yeah.
It's exactly. A certain amount of water per year. You can ask the Mauritanians about it. They'll know.
And so, yeah, probably. Yeah, I was going to say, if you do end up coming to 58, I am running a game night, which will include, such things. But anyway, yeah, so Nepal, overrated. Basically, well, as the reasons that you listed, because people go nuts over the, unorthodox shape of it, I guess,
Yep.
and kind of fail to, really take into account anything else, I think. And it's similar to Switzerland too, in that they're both like landlocked mountainous countries. I mean, and the Vatican is landlocked as well, but these like states, like, like a lot of flags started during the era of like sail and navigation, voyage, whatever we call it. But like the Vatican, Switzerland, Nepal, they never really had a navy. So yeah, I guess like you can kind of understand why theirs are a little bit different. And yeah, I don't know. They're interesting, but I do agree that they're overrated. Well, especially Nepal.
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever brought up Switzerland on the show as far as this first segment here, but all right. So anyway, we've got your first flag was the Union Pacific flag, which I'm still very, very much in love with. Underrated Nagorno-Karabakh, Artsakh, and overrated Nepal. And we are going to go to break really quick, but when we get back, we got a lot to talk about. So stick around and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back more with Evan Dunker here. And Evan, I've got to ask, the elephant-sized flag in the room is the one behind you there, that American flag. I gather it's special in some kind of way.
Yep. I got that, well, about 2 years ago, and it's actually flown over the Capitol building in Washington, D.C.
Okay, very cool.
I paid the extra, I think it was like $50 for it because I got the biggest one and it's cotton.
Right. Oh, nice. Even better.
Yeah, I got the 5x8 one because I was like, if I'm going to get one, I'm going to get the biggest one because I know how annoying they are to run up a flagpole.
Okay, yeah. So 5x8 makes sense. I was thinking like sitting here, like kind of comparing the ones behind me that are 5x3s. And then, the one behind you, and thinking like, that seems a little bit bigger, or maybe a lot bit bigger. But so it flew over the Capitol. Do you know when, or like, do you have any details on it?
I have the box right here. Like I wrote on it 5x8 flag flown over U.S. Capitol building, and I put the date on it. I don't know if that's the actual date it was flown, but I have December 1st, 2022, and I did the representative, which for me is Mike Flood, since I'm in Nebraska. But yeah, it doesn't, and then it comes with the certificate.
Oh, okay. So that is very cool.
Yeah. From the architect of the Capitol at the time. Yeah, it's pretty much just United States flag of the flag of the United States of America. This is to certify that the accompanying flag, that big behemoth behind me, was flown over the U.S. Capitol. This flown was fly at the request of the Honorable Mike Flood, member of Congress for Evan Dunker.
Oh, it says for Evan Dunker?
Yeah.
Dude, that is really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah,
they didn't all caps your name like they did Flood's, but other than that.
Yeah, I wish they did it all caps like Flood's, but
I think you're perfectly honorable, just as, if not more than he is. But yeah, we don't have to go into that, but
yeah, don't, because there's a lot of people.
My reps are, they are what they are.
Yeah, it's just there's a whole story behind getting it. If you want to go into that.
Well, wait, a whole story that's worth going into or not worth going into?
It's a little political, but it's more political with who was the representative before with Fortenberry.
Okay.
If you want to go into it, I can tell it.
I mean, I am, like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm more than a little intrigued.
Okay, I'll tell it then.
I'm sorry.
Really
hey, funny. For the listeners, we did not plan on going into this, but I am legitimately intrigued. So,
all right.
If this gets cut, whatever. But
so pretty much the story behind it is I was in college at the time, which I dropped out like a year later.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, no, like a month or two later. But I was like, I just started looking around. I was like, oh, you could get a flag flown over the Capitol building and it's like fully legal and everything. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So I went online. I like searched how to get flag flown over the Capitol building for private U.S. citizen.
Yeah.
And the architect of the Capitol came up, filled it out, and just waited. And waited. And waited. And April rolled around. It was December. April of 23 rolled around.
Sure.
And I called them up. I was like, hey, I ordered a flag like 3-4 months ago. Where is it? It's like, well, what representative did you order it under? It's like, I ordered it under Fortenberry, I guess. And that was when he was like getting ousted for all of his legal troubles the first time.
Yeah.
Which he's finally getting arraigned for a second time in DC because mistrial in California and all that stuff. It's like, I don't care at this point.
Listeners can look that up. Yeah.
Yeah. It'll waste about 3 hours of your time trying to figure out what the hell happened.
Yeah. Well, the one thing I'm good at is wasting 3 hours of listeners' time. So, no.
Yeah. So anyway, I called them like, oh, well, who's the current representative? Mike Flood. Oh, well, we'll look into it. Give us a couple minutes. Looked into it. Like, well, is it on your bank statement? Because we don't have any orders from them from that time period. Okay. I was like, let me put you on speaker. I was home, luckily. So looked on. Yeah, it's on my bank statement, $51.
Yeah.
Oh.
$1 for every state, and then one extra.
Yeah, we'll fly that one for you, and we'll get it to you as soon as we can. So it was like 5-6 months. It finally came, and I was like, oh, I think I put it on Instagram like the day I got it, or like the day after that I actually got it. It was like new flag who dis, something like that. Yeah. I was like, I'm kind of tempted to go into editor and change the caption, but at the same time, it's like, it's kind of funny.
I mean, yeah, it's definitely an interesting, like, I think that whole thing, and maybe I'm wrong, and listeners are free to, tell me if I am, but I think that whole, like, flown on the Capitol and then sold to private citizens or given to schools or whatever, is like a uniquely American thing. From what I understand, there's a lot of flags that they fly for, a pretty short amount of time, and then they kind of lower it, they take it off, they put on another one, and that way they can say, this flag flew on top of the Capitol. I don't know if that's every case, but I think the ones that they kind of give away for free to schools are that case. Maybe not the ones for, like you said, private citizens and stuff like that. But yeah, I remember like we had one in our school, and like the administration made like a big deal out of it. I think it was even elementary school. I don't think it was high school, or yeah, I think it was elementary, like primary school. And they made a whole big deal out of it. They were like, this is a flag that flew over the U.S. state, or the U.S. Capitol, and therefore, it's special in that way, etc. Which, agreed, it is, because like that's cool. I don't have any flags that have flown over any capitals of any sort. But yeah, I do think of that as a like uniquely American thing. I think trying to get a flag that has flown over a specific thing, and you got one despite all the hiccups.
It was annoying, but I got it, and I instantly went, you know what? Let's rearrange, because that's my north wall. Let's rearrange that entire north wall and stick that prominently in the center, so it's the first thing I see when I wake up.
Yeah, because that thing doesn't take up zero space. I mean, it's like you said, it's 5x8, and the 8 being across that, like, the top and bottom.
Yeah.
So,
because what I had there originally was, I don't think I have them anymore. I think I gave them away. Actually, I think that state flag behind you, that's the one that was in my room originally.
Oh, I'm honored.
Yeah, I think that I had that one in my room for like 5 years, 6 years, something like that. And then I took it down. and I gave it to you, and I had that one, and then U.S. flag, and then I'm Christian, so I had the Christian flag up as well, and like the correct orientation and everything. I have my own book on flag code.
I mean, I know the correct orientation on a pole, but does it follow the US one where the canton has to be top left if it's hung?
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah,
gotcha.
the way that it works with that is canton top left in the center, and then the other two are lowered. I think it's like 3 or 4 inches down, and obviously viewers will correct us on it if we're wrong.
Oh yeah.
And
They're good at
then
that.
it's oh shit, now I'm trying to remember. It's
Marking it explicit now. Just kidding. I don't
state
give a
flag
fuck.
on the left, and then any other flag on the right.
Yeah.
Nope, it's the wrong way.
I was gonna say I'm
I
not
have
gonna
a
correct.
little cheat sheet up here on my bookshelf. Nope, that's the wrong way. It's state flag on the right, Christian flag on the left.
Okay,
Or
but at the
another
same level under the US one.
yes, and
Gotcha.
same level.
Right, gotcha. There's been a few of those during this recording. I have an excuse because this is champagne, but you're drinking water, so no excuse for you. But anyway, all right, yeah, no, that is fantastic, and like I said, I think pretty uniquely American. I do have Christoph Hook sending me a flag that flew on like the Prague 6 district. Like there's different districts of Prague, and he said this one flew on number 6, and he's gonna send it to me. And I was like, all right, shit. But immediately when he said that, I thought of basically what you're talking about was this flag has flown on X or Y, and now it's yours. Which like in any case is very cool. Very cool.
Oh yeah.
All right, so you've got that behind you. For the listeners who can't see, he's also got a long string of what appears to be, and you can maybe correct me, but what appears to be like little desk flags and maybe football helmets, like American football helmets, and pennants below them. You can explain this better than me, but it looks like you've got the whole NFL setup behind you. Briefly walk me through that. Yeah, there you go. We got the logo too. Walk us through that though.
All right, so yeah, that actually is a bookshelf that I personally made like I think a year ago. It's like 12 foot long. Sorry, metric people. I don't know it in metric.
It's like what, 3 meters or something ish?
It's over 4 meters. I know 3 foot is a meter, so it's like right around 4 meters.
Yeah,
I want to say roughly
3 and change, I think.
3 and change, 4 and change, something like that. But anyway, so yeah, underneath it is every NFL pennant for every team. So starting way over on this side, that's the NFC South. So it just goes from the center. It's north, east, west, south.
Gotcha.
And on the pennants, I have the like regular. I don't think I have one within reaching distance, but it's like the regular like, pocket-sized helmet on the bottom.
Okay. That's what's like hanging at the bottom of the pennants. Okay. Right. I see that now.
The top two then are the like smaller ones that are like the ones that they just came out with. So you can go like, I know we have them here in the Midwest, Shields or something like that, like a sporting goods store. You can see like the smaller ones that's on the top of the pennants. And then on top of the shelf, I also have, as you can see, LED strands on top and bottom. And on the very top of the shelf up there is every like speed size helmet, which is actually I have one right up here. Give me a second. Which is this size of helmet.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, I was gonna say it looks like helmets up there and helmets at the bottom, but different. Yeah,
it's helmets up there. These are the ones I made my own bracket and everything for the playoffs, which it took like 3 attempts, but it was well worth it. I put it on I don't know if you see the table behind me. I put it on there. I made it specifically for that size. And then, coming out of like right about here. So it's like about that angle. is the flag of the state that each of the teams are located in.
Okay. Yeah. So like for the listener, like it's like right out of the face mask, basically, of the helmet.
Mhm.
And like honestly, like that's not only a great idea, but it also like lines them up perfectly. Like if you're putting it through the same place on every helmet, it pretty much ensures they're all going to be in a direct line like you've got them, and it looks fucking great.
Yeah, it's one of those like I don't know. I may be able to give me a second.
Sure.
You can cut this out.
I'll just vamp here.
Yeah. I should be able to do my backlight in NFL frame or NFL, so I can get it.
Oh, you got that like phone control. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep, we got NFC and AFC over here.
Yeah. Give me a sec. You can turn that off as well. There you go.
Yeah. No, that is.
Yeah, we can just go like that instead.
Ideal. That is perfect.
Yeah. So you can do that as well. So that's what I have for game day.
So yeah, it's safe to say you're a big football fan.
Yes.
And
I watched how about those Chiefs and Tom Grossi all the time.
Yeah. I was gonna say, as a 49ers fan, it pains me to even like talk about this really, but given that you are a big Chiefs fan, you've got all that cool stuff behind you. Go into like there was a little thing that Evan dropped on me before this even started that I don't know about, but it's something about like sports flags in Kansas City, like red flag Fridays or Friday red flag, whatever. But I would love for you to kind of explain as we go more into sports flags what that's all about.
So it's red flag Friday. It pretty much is during the football season, and if there's any Chiefs fans listening, which there may be, you never know. But
I don't let them listen. You're the one exception.
You just let them be on the show instead.
I block you. Yeah, that'd be a weird move, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. So pretty much what we do is every Friday before a game, we wear red, usually with Chiefs logo on it or whatever. And we fly all these flags, which I can show as well. It's like this is the one from 2020.
Overrated.
We fly these every year. So I'll continue. Then we have 2021.
Mm-hmm.
They're just
what happened in 2021?
This is just like the generic one. So if we win a Super Bowl, it's something like that.
That's what I wanted you to say, is that you didn't win the Super Bowl. But anyway,
the Rams won the Super Bowl that year, I think.
Yeah, I know, right? What a weird.
Well, the Rams. No, that was Tampa.
Oh, that was Brady. Yeah.
That was 31-9, where we didn't score a dang touchdown the entire.
Oh my God. I honestly was rooting for the Chiefs at that point because as much as I don't like them, I like Tom Brady less.
I hate Tampa. Honestly, as much respect as I have for Tom Brady, screw him.
Yep, agreed. Especially as a Tennessean and a Vols fan, I'm like, no, Peyton Manning. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. And you have this one for 2022, which is the year the Rams won. Took down stupid Joe Burrow. Yes, I'm still bitter about that AFC Championship, Bengals fan.
Yeah, I get that. And
then we have technically not the most recent one, but 57 Super Bowl against the Eagles.
Yeah.
He was holding.
Yeah.
And I know one of my
for the Eagles in that one.
Yeah. A lot of people root against us anymore. I'm used to it.
No, but I mean, like, that's not we talked about it a little off air, but that's not an unenviable position to be in.
Oh, yeah.
The team that everyone hates is also the team that wins all the time. So.
Oh, yeah. Then that's the thing is, like, there's all these people saying we're the new Patriots and everything's like, bring it. I'm just
so mad that I didn't draft Mahomes in my fantasy draft. Whoever got him, we have an auction draft, and like for whatever reason we have like $210 instead of an even $200. I don't know why. There was some reason, but I think Mahomes went for like literally $2 or something. Jeez. And we've been losing to that guy ever since. So
yeah.
Anyway, so you got like the most recent one.
Not yet. It hasn't been released.
Oh.
So
Even this long after?
they released it, I believe, in like July. They released it right around the time the Super Bowl ring is revealed.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. It's like we had the parade and everything, and that was
Saw
scary.
that.
I was there. I was a mile away.
Figured.
Yeah, I was a mile away with my grandpa and my uncle.
Yep.
And
yep.
we just thought they were fireworks. Everyone around us thought they were fireworks.
Oh,
and we
God.
just see all these cops race down. It's like, those weren't fireworks.
Yeah.
The stupid squabble. Like, seriously, people?
Yeah, well, you know.
Yeah,
So, okay, yeah. So Red Flag Friday, though, like, all right, you've shown us the red flags, but, like, what is the, like, Friday aspect of it? Because most NFL games are played on Sundays. So what exactly is Red Flag Friday?
It pretty much is just get pumped up for the game.
Okay.
Yeah, that pretty much is all it is. Just like us Chiefs fans just getting ready to hopefully absolutely dominate our next opponent.
Sure.
Except if it's a few teams that I will not, Josh Allen, say.
Oh, yeah. That I will say, actually, that is the quarterback I drafted for $2. So I can't be too mad.
No, he's good. I'll let the Buffalo fans have that. You have a good quarterback.
Yeah. That table behind you looks awful good for slamming on. And by slamming on,
it's angle iron around the outside. So good luck getting through it.
Oof.
Yeah, it's like 2-inch angle iron. So
to Buffalo fans, that sounds like a challenge.
Oh yeah, honestly, I will make them one and ship it up to Buffalo to watch them try to get through it without using any power tools.
That'd actually be like a really good prank. Like you're like, yeah, here's the table we're using. I reinforced it with fucking steel bars and shit.
Here's a gift from a Chiefs fan. Good luck.
Yeah, right.
My back. That's what you shouldn't do with us, boy.
I mean, good enough reason.
Oh boy, you're giving me too many ideas, Andy.
Sorry. Sorry to Buffalo, the entire city, maybe the entire state of New York, really, but
yeah, just Buffalo.
Yeah, just Buffalo. No, that is interesting. We've not really talked about sports flags on here. The only other ones I can think of is like the 12 flag from Seattle, like the 12th man for the Seahawks, which actually one of my neighbors, like when I take my dog for walks, has got the 12 flag. Well, he's taking it down now because it's not football season yet. But has like a 12 flag out. And as someone who's like both a flag enthusiast and a sports fan, I noticed it immediately. It's like, okay, guy's a Seattle fan. And then the only other one I can think of is that like Washington State University flag that gets carried on to the background of like every USPN or ESPN like game day.
Yeah.
They even had like a commercial to that like effect that was, yeah, we do this every time, regardless of whether the Cougars are playing or not. Like, I don't know. Sports flags are interesting to me because they're not always just the logo of the team. Like, I mean, the ones you showed, at least two of them are not just the logo.
Yeah. I have a few of them as well in the other room that's for the University of Nebraska, which is my college team.
Yeah. Gotcha.
And one of them is like, it's just a red background with the new old Herbie Husker going like this.
I think I know the one. Yeah.
Yeah. They just released it like last year through McDonald's for the Ronald McDonald House.
Of course.
It was like $5 and it was because we finally got rid of the old Herbie.
Yep.
Yeah, which
it's a nightmare. Yeah.
Yeah. I have a couple shirts with his face on it.
I remember playing like it was for like GameCube and the original Xbox, like NCAA, whatever the last one was, like 06 or something. And you could do mascot games, and Herbie was one of the mascots you could do. And often we did, just because of how goofy it looked.
Yeah.
And we do it against like Smokey, the Tennessee one. But and it's
So-
just like, if you've never played NCAA 2006, listener, go out and get it, or see if it's on Steam or whatever. Because those mascot games are too much fun.
Oh boy.
But all right, I think it is time to take one more break. We will get back to the last part right after this. And yeah, more with Evan Dunker right after this. All right, and we are back, part 3 with Evan Dunker here, and I've got a few questions. Evan, you showed me a Chicago flag patch kind of off air at the top of this that was very interesting, and I would love for you to show it again and tell us why.
This is going to be a shock to some people because I'm guessing I'm one of like a few that actually probably have it.
Right.
As 5 stars.
Yes. So for the listeners, it is just the Chicago flag, but with 5 stars instead of 4. They all look the same, 6-pointed, etc. So what's the story behind the 5th star?
It was, and this is straight from the people at WGN Flag in Chicago, South Side. Amazing people. I got my Chicago flag there. And
White Sox fans. Yep.
Yeah. They gave it to me because, and they explained that 5th star was for the 2016 Olympics that they thought they were going to hold.
Oh, did they end up getting those?
No, Rio did.
Oh, yeah.
Down in Brazil. Because they wanted one, they want another one in South America, and they just, I think they got out, and like, I looked it up when we were on the L. I think they got out in like the final round, something like that. Like, it was pretty much.
I do remember it being up there on the list.
Yeah.
And I was, because I do remember thinking like, okay, I may actually like, I'd love to go to Chicago because I've never been and also see that. Because the 96 ones were in Atlanta, which is crazy close to me. And I remember going out for those. So I thought Chicago would be cool too. But yeah, no such luck. So the 5th star was like aspirational, I guess.
It was just in case, from what I can tell. They had like everything ready. They just needed to ship them out. And then obviously Rio got it, and they went, well, we have all this now. What do we do with it? And I was just lucky enough to waltz in.
Right place, right time.
Like,
yeah.
And I just struck up a conversation with them because all of us were flag nuts. And when they were grommeting, because I didn't realize this, with the way they do their flags there, they grommet the flags in store as soon as you order it.
Oh, hell yeah. I would love that. I love grommeting a flag.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite things to do.
Yeah.
I wish I were kidding.
Yeah. The way it worked is that I just walked in there and went, I want a 3x5 of the Chicago flag.
Yeah.
Give us a second. They walked into the back room, walked out. Is this the one you're looking for? Yes. We'll get it grommeted for you right now. And I just struck up a conversation with the guy who I was buying it from. And went, you know what? We'll give you this. These were the aspirational ones for back in 2016 when we thought we were going to host the Olympics, but we obviously didn't end up doing it.
Right. So wait, what year was it that you were there?
2022, I think.
And they still had ones from 16?
Yeah.
That they like couldn't give away fast enough, basically.
From what I can figure out, yeah. I'm trying to remember when it was.
No, yeah.
I think I still have pictures on my phone. Give me a second.
Sorry, no, that is 22. Pretty interesting, considering.
Yeah, it was just one of those things. It was just spur of the moment, right place, right time.
Do you know if like, and you may not know this, and I certainly don't, obviously, but do you know if Chicago actually had plans to put a 5th star on the flag, or if this was like, this company is kind of like, or this place is kind of trying to get ahead of the, game kind of thing.
I don't know. I wouldn't put it past them
It
just
seems
because,
like what they would do, right?
yeah, because each one of their stars they currently have on does represent some major event or something that happened in their history. So
Right.
I wouldn't be surprised if they were to actually put a fifth one on, because I mean, hosting the Olympics, that's a major deal.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And,
I mean,
like,
you see all these different cities around the world that when they do, either something amazing happens, like with Tokyo, with hosting it twice, or something with Athens happens where it just falls into disrepair.
yeah,
And Rio
yeah.
a little bit.
I mean, I was gonna say the Olympics do tend to like bankrupt cities and make travel a nightmare, even more
Yeah.
than it already was in a lot of
Yeah.
places. But yeah, no, it is interesting because like the Chicago flag is one of the only ones I can think of that is in a state of like evolution. And I don't mean like they can just change it to a different thing, like say like Libya's green flag to the current Libya flag or whatever.
Mhm.
That's not evolution, that's just changing. But like the US flag, adds a star for every state, which I honestly suspect, and this is an entirely different conversation, but I honestly kind of suspect that the reason we don't want to add more states is because we're pretty happy with the 50-star flag. But
Yeah.
Chicago is the only other one that I can think of. I'm sure there are more that does a kind of similar thing, because did it used to have 2 stars?
Yes. I want to say it started with 2, and then they went to 3, and then to 4.
Yeah. And those were all based on like major events like in the city itself or
Yeah,
county or whatever. Yeah.
I'm trying to remember, because obviously when I went there, that was like the thing was like, oh well, all these stars represent this, because we went to Willis Tower. I honestly almost called it the Sears Tower.
I mean, that's still, I'm gonna forever call it.
A lot of people in my family still call it the Sears Tower, and it's not the Sears Tower anymore. It's the Willis Tower.
That's how I
I'm
learned
trying to
it.
remember. I want to say it was like, I know 2 of them are for the expeditions they had, the Columbian and the Century of Progress.
World's Fair-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I want to say one was for the original settlement, which was Fort Dearborn.
Yep, I was on the tip of my tongue. Yep.
And then the other one I want to say was for the Great Fire.
Yeah, I could see that. You definitely want to celebrate that.
Oh, yeah, you want to celebrate half your city getting burned and a bunch of your citizens dying.
And blaming a woman and her cow for it.
Because that's what we do in the 1800s.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know about all that.
And obviously it was the woman's fault. Men can never be wrong. It's obviously women.
Well,
they're the
right.
reason. They're always the reason. Everything.
The cow was a female too, so it's like,
Well, yeah, because she was milking the cow.
Who are you gonna trust here? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, but like, yeah, Chicago's like pretty interesting in that respect, because I cannot think of a different city or state or I mean, we rarely think of county flags unless we have to, but that does anything similar other than, like I said, the US flag, which is by states. And I think you even mentioned, like, and you may have it up on your screen or whatever, but don't like the stars, because the stars have 6 points each. Don't each of the individual points have like some kind of meaning or something assigned to them?
Yes, they do. And
what I'm gathering from that tone is that you do not yet have it up on your screen, but you may in a second.
I have it on my screen. It's just,
or you just don't want to fucking talk about it.
I know I don't want to talk about it because it's just that annoying.
It's like too much in the weeds of yeah.
It's one of those things, like, you look at it and it's like, did they do this originally, or did they do it respectively at one of the redesigns?
Yeah.
I think the most recent one was when did it say 39?
Oh, okay.
1939 was the most recent one, so it's been like that for a while. But
And
I
that was
wonder,
one of the World Expos or whatever.
that
Probably.
one was Fort Dearborn.
Oh,
Weirdly enough, yeah. The
okay.
original two were the Great Fire and the Columbian Exposition. Then was the Century of Progress in 33, the year it was that it happened, and then Fort Dearborn in 39.
So do they have to do another one in 2033 when it's been 2 centuries of progress? Is it,
Technically, no. Technically, yes. You're hurting my brain.
I mean, they don't have to, but
Honestly,
will they? I do wonder. No, sorry, go on.
The only reason I could think of them adding one is if they have like another 100 years or something. It's like, oh, it's been this many years and it's a major milestone.
Yeah.
It's like, I think here, I'm trying to remember we just passed 150 years of statehood for Nebraska.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
2017.
I guess that's weird to me.
That was our
Living in
sesquicentennial.
Tennessee, we celebrated our bicentennial
Yeah.
when I was a child.
Yeah, that was actually one of the things that they were trying to figure out. There's actually one of the representatives that wanted to change the state flag in honor of that,
Mm.
and it got voted down like instantly because since we're unicameral.
So what got voted down? Like the changing of it at all?
Changing of it in that circumstance.
Okay.
So there's still a bunch of us Nebraskans, obviously I'm one of them, that want to change our flag.
Yeah.
But from what it sounds like is because the Republicans hold a borderline supermajority, since we're unicameral, it all is different. Yeah. So it will never happen pretty much unless there's some really political bipartisan agreement, which doesn't look like it because it's tradition. The state flag is the state flag, damn it. It is tradition.
Yeah.
It's been like that since 1963.
And it's
stupid.
That sucks. Because I don't know, are you a Republican? Or are you comfortable saying yes or no on that? Or
really?
Yeah.
I label myself a moderate just because of there's certain issues I'm more moderate on compared to my family. But there's some that I'm a lot more conservative on. I'm more fluid.
Yeah, because it sucks that it's always I mean, to me, it's always conservatives standing in the way of progress. And we can kind of microcosm that into flag stuff. Because I have joined, kind of undercover or whatever. Undercover's giving myself too much credit, I think. But the Minnesota, the flag group that's against Minnesota changing theirs. And I briefly, before they kicked me out, joined the group of people that in Utah didn't want to change theirs. And it in both cases, it is just, it's MAGA from top to bottom. It's not even just conservatives, because conservatives like Dan McKay in Utah is a Republican state senator, and he was the one that kind of pushed the flag change through.
Yeah.
So
that goes into the interesting part then, is that's one thing that's there's a lot of, and unfortunately, however you look at it, I'm in a Democrat district. So I'm in the minority with my congressman. So even if I were to get an appointment with him and say, hey, I have a bill I want you to sponsor that would change the state flag, no matter what, we'll have to get Republicans. And it's kind of there's certain ones that are more middle, but there's at least 5 I can think of that are borderline.
Yeah, it seems like there is an angle there. I don't know exactly what it is.
Yeah.
But there's got to be some kind of angle there that says hey, honestly, you could up our national profile, or at least, or maybe even fuck it. If you're vain and narcissistic, you could up your profile a little bit.
Yeah.
And do it in a way. Well, I mean, shit. No, I think I may be wrong, because like you're gonna get criticized regardless. In Utah, like I said, it was Dan McKay that did it. I don't agree with pretty much any of his politics, but he was the one that pushed it through, and he did fight against the MAGA crowd that was trying to not get it pushed through. So, you know, there are still a few of them left, for what it's worth. But, God, yeah, I don't know Nebraska's way forward other than just thinking of these kind of dominoes that are falling as far as Utah and Minnesota and other ones that are looking at, in quotes, their state flags.
And I know there's actually one approach that I'm starting to look at a little bit more, is we put in a bid to host the first and second rounds of March Madness, the whole basketball tournament.
Okay.
Here in Lincoln.
Yeah.
We just built a new arena.
Is the university in Lincoln, Nebraska?
Yes.
I mean,
University of Nebraska. One of their branches is here in Lincoln.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Lincoln, Omaha, and Kearney, which is in the middle of the state along I-80, if anyone wants to look it up.
Yeah, UT is kind of like that. We've got a campus in Martin, and anyway.
It's interesting. But yeah, that's one thing that I'm also starting to look at, is possibly seeing if we can get it changed, because that's for the 27-28 season, I believe. And if that gets accepted, that's a perfect deadline to have a new state flag.
That is a perfect...
Welcome to Nebraska. Here's our new flag. Hope you love your basketball team here.
Yeah, because like most state flags have changed. Like, well, especially like historically, a lot of state flags have changed or been created, just like whole cloth, pun intended, from like events like that. Like the original Nevada flag was, I think, just totally designed for a World's Fair or for some kind of similar event. And it just said like silver, gold, Nevada, or whatever.
Yeah, it was interesting.
But so many states like create flags for events like that. So I have a hard time believing that you would have as much of an ear turned away from you then as you do now. Like, if a major event happens in the state, you want a good flag, you want to show off your state, because of course you want to show off your state, then I think that's like the most like fertile ground for it. I don't know if it gets better than that.
Yeah, I mean, even now we host the College World Series for baseball every year in Omaha.
Right. Yeah, I knew.
Yeah, that's getting ready to start. That was in the back of my 3-4 weeks. Like the Big Ten tournament wraps up tomorrow. Go Big Red.
Yeah. Well,
because I don't know. Can I date this for you? Is that all right?
Sure.
When we record? Nebraska is getting ready to play Indiana for the second game.
This will definitely come out after that happens, but
it'll happen
for the listener.
For the listener, when this is released, I'll either be very happy as Big Ten champs or very sad as third or fourth place, more likely.
Yeah. Well,
playing these Hoosiers.
I mean, hey, I have no dog in this fight, so go Nebraska. Go Big Red. I don't give a shit. I'm used to saying go big orange, so go big color is not that much of a stretch for me.
Yeah. And see, I'm used to saying go big red. It's literally in my blood.
Yeah.
Because that's actually one of the jokes a lot of us Nebraskans say, is that's the way you can tell that Nebraska is God's favorite team, because he made blood red. Yeah, there's at least 3 people in my family that I've heard that from.
Yeah, and they're the only... Yep. Sure.
Yeah, it's like they're the very churchy one. They're like the most churchy ones as well.
Yeah. No, I mean, Nebraska is the only one that has red for a color. Yeah, sure. All right, so last thing I wanted to talk to you about. You are taking a big trip through the U.S. Here this summer, I guess, basically. And you're taking like an interesting route that comes through Hamilton County, right where I live, which is interesting. So are you planning on picking up flags as you go, or is this less of a flag trip and more of just a trip, I guess?
It's more of just a trip. That's just
because I'll give you a Hamilton County, or well, a Chattanooga flag.
Honestly, if you want to give me a Chattanooga one, I have room in my boxes, hopefully. I'm currently flying, like I think I said earlier, I'm currently flying all of the U.S. flags in order of statehood with all the historical U.S. flags and everything.
Yep.
So, but yeah, that right now the plan is to go across, I want to say it's across pretty much I-80 over to Indianapolis.
Oh, that's where Flags for Good lives.
I know, yeah. And I'm going to see if I can get a couple of his flags from one of the stores there.
Hit up Michael. I will. Let's be in touch. I'll help you out.
Yeah, because I have a couple of. Well, that's where I got this one.
So I got it. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I got that was one of the pre-order ones.
That's where mine is from as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, good quality flags. If you ever want one, I'll plug him any day.
They've upped their game too. Like, I don't know if you've gotten any, and this is again not an ad, but they have upped their game. Like their new like stock that they do stuff on is better, and the what do you call it? Like the hoist side, like, you know, the binding and stuff with the grommets is like a little bit more sturdy. Like they have really upped it over there.
I'm trying to remember what the most recent one, because I have two from them. I have the Lincoln City flag
and the Flags for Good flag, or the Flags for Content flag. I always do that.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember actually what the other one is. It's on my list somewhere.
Yeah.
I think it's not. Is it? No, it's not Pocatello.
Milwaukee Peoples?
No, I got that one in Milwaukee.
Okay.
Yeah, I got that one in. I think I like never fly that one though.
Nah, yeah.
That's one of those just it's in. Yeah. Anyway,
yeah, no, I am excited for you, for your trip, for one, and excited to meet you here in Hamilton County. I keep pointing over here because I still have it up on the other screen. But yeah, and for the listeners and viewers, Evan has got some really cool flags that he's going to trade off with me. So very excited for that. You'll see some new and different stuff in the background. We'll leave that secret for now, but
work.
Yeah, man, dude, I'm excited for you. I'm excited to meet up and everything. We'll probably have a brief chat then that may end up on the feed. I do need to get your, as I mentioned at the top of the show, unboxing video like ready to go. It's been literally over a year. I am not good at time-based stuff, and I think I've proven that to everyone that follows me. But yeah, as mentioned, I appreciate the hell out of you sending those. Not just these two, but yeah.
Yeah. I was just thinking about it, actually, you could probably just do that and all the ones I'm going to give you later in one giant video.
Yeah, maybe just combine it.
Yeah. That'd just be less work for you then.
Yeah, for sure. All right. So let's go ahead and wind down now. Evan, where can people find you, follow you, all that good stuff?
So really, I'm mostly on Instagram at Evan. Actually, I have to look it up because I don't remember
Evan
my
D823.
Thank you for saving my ass.
I know it. Because as mentioned up top, you consistently get the fresh flags correct.
Yeah. It helps to know a lot of random knowledge.
Yeah, I've found the same. Yeah. So anyway, at Evan D823 on Instagram, that's the main place that we can kind of connect with you and stuff.
Yeah. I'm sometimes on Facebook, which is kind of old people now.
It is now.
I hate to say. Yeah. It's one of those, like, I usually just, that's kind of where I do all of my family stuff, all my personal. Yeah, if you want to follow me there, I believe it's the same handle.
Yeah, right on.
It's just me in front of a giant snowbank in Colorado. That's my profile picture.
Hey, you could do worse.
Honestly,
I love
yeah.
Colorado. All right on. So yeah, go follow Evan in those places. For the show itself, you can follow us at flagged for like the number content anywhere there are at signs. The easiest way to follow us, interact with us, etc., is linktree.com/flagged for content. And speaking to that, that is how Evan kind of like, I mean, I don't know a better way to put it. That's how you got on the show. I mean, I would have had John anyway, but there is a little thing on there where you can suggest, this is me and I would like to be on the show for this reason, or I know somebody who I would like to see on the show for this reason, or whatever. But there's a guest, basically application form on there that you should go to if you want to be on the show, or if you want to see someone special on the show. And I think that's pretty much everything I've got. So speaking of winding it down, I always forget my notes on this, but Evan, do you have anything good that could kind of walk us out of here?
Really? The only thing, and I hate to say it, how about them Chiefs?
Oh.
And always faithful.
Oh, okay. I guess I'll allow it.
So
I'll allow it.
I have a Niners friend, so.
Well, you have two now, and well, you just lost one actually. No, I'm just kidding.
See ya.
Anyway, listeners, viewers, everyone, it's been a blast having you watch and listen to this. It's been Evan. It's been so good having you on, and we will catch you on the fly side. Take care. All right. Dude, I can't believe you came at me with the cheap shit right at the end. You kept that. Oh my god, you kept that under wraps for a while.
Yeah, I had to.
Flagged for Content is a production of Flags for Good. It is written, hosted, and produced by me, Andy Richardson. Our theme song is also by me, but feel free to send in your own. And shout out to my most fluffy producers, Archer, Luna, Violet, and Uncle Bud. Catch y'all on the fly side.